is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
Handoff, Elliott plowing to the goal line. Barry, sacked by Lord. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
And now your hosts, Isaiah Stanback, Heckma Harrison, Rob Phillips, and Kyle Yeomans.
It's a Tuesday edition of Talkin Cowboys presented by Tostitos, the official chip and dip of the Dallas Cowboys.
I was trying to do that, and it went wrong.
What were you doing?
I was trying to.
You're trying to just like fist pump your way?
Some glow sticks?
Dip. You're going to go to chip and dip of the Dallas Cowboys. Live from the SWBC Mortgage Studios at the Star. Glad you're with us as we continue looking back to the 20-17 win, the Dallas Cowboys over the Los Angeles Chargers. And then we start looking ahead a little bit, peeking forward to the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll have some fan calls later on in the show and some tweets to answer as well. Professional football analyst Heckma Harrison.
That'll be me.
Our resident Super Bowl champion, Isaiah Stanback. We've got the great Cowboys insider, Rob Phillips.
Rob P. Island.
There's a lot of people on Periscope right now.
Yeah. I wonder why.
I think it was that cow bite yesterday.
You think that's what it was? It was the cow bite?
Man.
I think it was the smelly sticker.
First of all,
cow bite.
I'm telling you, man, he almost took me out yesterday. I couldn't believe he went
there.
there.
Was better than the on-air. That's the craziest part.
You're not wrong. After the show, I guarantee. So if you go back and watch yesterday's show, the tail end of it, there's a cow bite. You can hear Rob calling Aaron for the cow bite. You can see the cow bite on DallasCowboys.com.
I didn't think he'd actually do it, but he did it.
He did it. It was hilarious on air, but I guarantee we sat here and laughed for at least 10 minutes. Just almost falling against the wall laughing. It was awesome. So go check it out if you haven't already. It was a good show yesterday, wrapping up the Cowboys and the Chargers.
Good game, Terrence Steele. Good job.
Good job, Terrence Steele.
T-Steele.
Terrence Steele got some praise from Jerry Jones on 105.3 The Fan this morning, and Jerry hit on a couple extra topics as well. Rob, did you get a chance to listen?
Yeah, I caught most of it. He went early today.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he had a meeting today apparently. So I caught most of it. He covered a lot of topics from an injury standpoint. We don't know yet about Amari Cooper for this next game, but it sounds like they're hopeful. He's got some bruised ribs that happened.
He did take a shot.
Yeah, and that last catch, 12-yard catch on the last drive. But Mike McCarthy referenced maybe it's something that he was kind of dealing with a little bit, maybe from week one. So we'll see on there, and they're optimistic that Randy Gregory will be cleared and back by tomorrow from the COVID list. So those were the newsy items.
Fresh legs.
Couple newsy
Man, you better
items.
listen to those Tuesday interviews because you get a lot of gems in there. You know, you would expect for it to come from Coach Mike McCarthy, but Jerry is laying down some info. So I've always got my ear to the speaker.
We had breaking news last week on the right tackle situation.
Yeah, Jerry came straight out and said, hey, Terrence Steele's going to be the starter at right tackle. And all of us were like, wait, what? And then the coaching staff and even Steven were like, oh, tap the brakes. And then it ultimately ended up being the decision that was made. He also hit today on John Fossil and the decision to bring the house on the punting unit and what ended up being the roughing the kicker penalty that kept the drive alive for the Chargers in that the 20-17 win. Now, we didn't get a chance to hit on special teams a whole lot yesterday because we were kind of bouncing around on offense and on defense. So, Isaiah, I want to bring this to your attention because, I mean, you're the special teams guy, I feel like, on this show. What did you think about the decision that John Fossil made to bring the house and try and go after this punt, and it ultimately backfired?
Man, bring the house. I don't feel any type of way about you bringing the house. You have a responsibility as a player to make the judgment call whether or not you can make the block or not, and you have to have that. I don't know, that resistance to really pull off, right? Even though it's like I might be close, but if I don't know for sure that I can get this thing, I have to pull off because I know the consequence and the repercussions of me not getting it is a roughing the passer, or roughing the kicker, which results in an automatic first down, which means that my defense is now back out here and we don't get the ball on offense. So call them boys. If I was a special teams coordinator and I was able to rush the punter every time and know that my guys, my hold up guys can still take care of their business on the outside, giving our returner an opportunity to get a good return, I'm bringing the house every single time. But typically that's not the case. So typically you hold off, you go to hold up, which means you rush, you get about 3 steps off the ball, you grab your guy, you hold him, and you block him to the direction that you need to for their particular return. And you usually don't get a good hold up at the line of scrimmage when you're rushing, right? Because usually you're now attacking them.
Exactly.
They shed you, they throw you, and now they're off running down, going to cover your returner, and you don't get a chance to block them. So if you have a chance to hold your guys up, hold them up, but when you take your shots like that, go get it. You just got to make a smart decision. That's on the individual, not to rough the kicker.
Now, I believe it was 4th and 20 in that situation.
It was.
But why do you think that decision has been met with so much resistance, especially with when Coach Fossil is saying, look, we studied the tape, we saw tendencies, they lined up in the favorable lineup, and we came after it. I mean that's a coach's answer,
Absolutely.
but what he's basically saying is we saw an opportunity and we took it.
I can tell you this, on a punt return team, you don't want to hold up. You really don't. You really don't. I don't care who you put back there. I don't care if you put Cordell Patterson back there. I don't care if you put who else is that from Chicago? Who was that return man?
Devin Hester?
Devin Hester's back there. I don't care who's back there. You want to go get that ball. Like, you're out there because you have the ability to go out there and get the ball. Now, everybody can hold up their guys. Yippee, right? And get a good block. You hope that you take care of your assignment and get your returner a return. But if you can rush the punter and get a good hold up on the outside, you give your returner a chance to make a play. So that is not on Fossil. Go get the doggone ball. Send them every time as long as we don't rough the punter. Nobody complains about it when the punter's not roughed. Nobody. Everybody likes to see it. Everybody likes to see the guy go by and goes, ooh, right? And then guess what? Then you forget about the fact that we rushed the punter that time, right? But there's always a problem when you hit him. And again, that's not his problem. That's the other guy's problem. And the same thing can happen even if it was called a holdup.
Yeah.
Even if your responsibility, Rob, people say, hey, go hold up Heckma, and Heckma decides to go all the way to the outside, and you got a free run to the punter, you think you're just going to stand there? No, you're going for the doggone ball. You're going to his foot, and you just hope that you get it.
John Fossil appealed to the Cowboys Nation yesterday.
did.
He basically said he did it for them. He said, I think Cowboys fans aren't the play it safe type, so I was going to give them what they wanted, come after their ass on the punt rush. So I hope they're happy with it.
I like it.
I don't know if they're happy with it or not. I don't know.
I feel like
it didn't work. So
I feel like it just drew more attention to the fact that it didn't work more than anything. Him answering the question that direction, and like you,
it's all stacking it on,
stacking it on each other, and that's kind of where I think some of the criticism came later yesterday and then into today.
I think and heck, you just asked. I think the criticism comes from he's been aggressive from the moment he got here.
That's why you got him.
And and he has a history of doing that. And a lot of times in his career, it's worked. A lot of times so far in the last 2 years, it has not worked
at all.
And this is the second game in a row. They've played 2 games this year. This twice now. Right before halftime, they make an aggressive decision. They kick a field goal try 60 yards with Tom Brady waiting at midfield, and it didn't cost them anything there. They were fortunate there. Mm-hmm. They were fortunate this time that Chargers take over and miss a 44-yard field goal right before halftime in a close game that would have tied the game. So I'm just saying, Dave Hellman always says in a lot of different areas of life, scared money don't make money, right? So that's his philosophy. But
Agreed.
When it doesn't work, that's when people jump all over it, especially in tight games where, now they've played 2 games in a row where it comes down to the last play of the game.
It's not his fault. There is somebody rushing on every punt block, on every punt to return. Somebody's rushing. Right? But now there might be half the line that has hold up, but the other half of the line is rushing, right? Because if you rush the ball, so say there's a return right? And Kyle, you're on the left side. Your job on the left side is to go after the doggone ball. Go try to block it. But guess what? If you don't block it, guess what you do? You continue all the way around, and you come around and you form the wall on the other side, and now you're a part of the wall, right? But your initial job was to do what? Go after the doggone punt block, right? So every play there's a punt block called, right? But it's just not the whole team. And people need to understand you don't need your return team out there to fair catch. Those guys can sit on the sideline, and the punter can dictate whether or not it's a fair catch or not. This guy can sky the ball six seconds in the air, and guess what your punt returner is going to do? Fair catch. So you don't need your whole return team out there to force a fair catch. Go out there and be aggressive and get the ball. That's what those guys' jobs are. That's why you have those guys, those special teamers, those core guys out there to go after and get after the punter.
And I think what people are on Bones about is situational awareness. When you talk about kicking a 60-yard field goal right before half and leaving time on the clock. This situation, again, people are looking at it as a situational thing. And I think that's the thing that people complain about the most about Mike McCarthy and Bones Fossil together is that they don't have that situational awareness always that looks like they're doing what's best for the team. Even going all the way down to clock management at the end of the game.
Yeah, we didn't really touch on that.
We didn't touch on it. And again, ifs, maybes, whatever. It didn't happen. It didn't cost us. We won the game. But at the same,
could have.
No. But that's exactly where I'm going with this. It's like it's not costing us right now. But we've seen several situations before this where it has cost us, and we've looked at Mike McCarthy's coaching history where situational awareness is not as acute as it would be with some of these other coaches that we're looking at in the league.
This is a compounded problem.
Yeah, I mean, there's been situations that have not worked. I don't blame them for that. Whatever happened at the end of the game, because talking to people that were there, that clock thing was an issue. It did go out, and I know Rex Ryan was saying Mike was lying and all this. No,
that's a wrong person to even reference in a situation like that.
You surf the web and you find stuff, and it's like that's not true. That's not what happened. But I think the other thing too is when it comes to Bones, it's like, well, where's Mike's role in these decisions?
Everywhere.
You know, and I think fans may have an opinion that maybe Bones is just going rogue on this stuff. And they talk about this stuff during the week. And like you said, if they see something based off their game plan or what they've discussed during the week, he's got the authority to make the call.
It comes through him.
Yeah.
It comes through. Every special teams call comes through Coach McCarthy. When those guys, when you want to kick a field goal, right, you can be on the 40-yard line. Coach McCarthy, you want to kick a field goal? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Send the field goal unit. Okay, field goal. Let's go. Everything. He's the head coach. He's the CEO out there on the sidelines. He's the CEO of this team down there.
Especially if it's a call like that where it's coming after a punt, or if it's a special teams play, trick play, something like that, reverse, who cares? Whatever it is, that doesn't just stem from a hunch on a sideline.
No.
That's something that you've talked about for a week at a time.
Analytics galore.
And then you've practiced for months at a time by this point.
Yeah, and the other thing I would say is that I do think a lot of this may just for fans may go back to the fake punt on Thanksgiving of last year. You know,
bad memories.
Gosh, it is bad memory, and you know what? As time goes by,
that's what P does.
I have, yeah, I know. Just check my timeline. Taylor Stern called me out on that last week too. I'm just the messenger, man. Just the messenger. But you know what? As time goes by, like I understand more and more why they did that. At the time, I was like, I've never seen anything like that in my life. I can't believe they did it. But that team was completely wrecked with injuries, and Mike decided we've got nothing left in the tank. We've got to do something to try to go steal this game. But I do think that's still in the back of people's minds when they try something aggressive. It's like, God, what are they doing?
Yeah,
you know.
At some point, it's going to be the straw that broke the camel's back from a frustration standpoint around Cowboys Nation. Yesterday, that might have been the straw. I don't think it's broken the camel's back yet, but it's still adding on. And like Isaiah said earlier, it's stacking on. Here's the
compounding.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. I like that.
Yeah.
Here's what John Fossil said yesterday in his press conference about what he thought of what the punt felt like from a coach's standpoint.
I didn't get who they actually a jersey number because it was a train wreck right there at the block spot. But what I got on film is that their number 40 hooked Kamara and pulled them back into the punter. And, you know, you can make a great case it was holding, or that the punter hit his own blocker. But there was a lot of bodies at that pile, and so our goal was to come after him.
I don't think we could fault the referees for the call that they made there, but I wanted to ask you that question a little earlier, Isaiah. But did you think, just the way that things played out, that should have been a flag on Los Angeles as opposed to Dallas? Or a no call at all?
I think it's going to be called on the rushing team. So it's going to be called on Dallas. If that punter gets hit like that, unless it is blatantly one guy rushing the personal protector who is the guy who's closest to the punter. His job is to ensure that the punter is safe, last line of defense. Usually the only time you'll ever see that not called is if that one person is taking him on head-to-head in plain sight in front of the whole screen, and he is running that guy back into the punter. When his butt hits the punter and knocks the punter over, that won't be called. But what you saw the other day, that's going to be called 99% of the time.
So do you feel like now that this played out the way that it did in week 2, this will live in the back of John Fossil's mind as the rest of the year goes on?
Nope. How did he end that statement?
He said,
our job is to go after the punter.
Yeah.
I just sat here and told you that from somebody who played ball for 6 years, and he just told you the same thing. You're coming after the punter. You're not going out there lining up to say, hey, go ahead and kick the ball so he can wave at you and catch it in and go, into
maybe an opportunity to steal some field position. All of those things are on the table for you.
If you don't put pressure, you don't get fumbled. You don't get botched snaps. You don't get any of those things. If you just leave him comfortable back there, apply pressure because you never know what can happen. That personal protector can miss their assignment. The guys on that front line can miss their assignment. Somebody can trip. Somebody can throw their arm out there, get their arm knocked down. There's a whole lot of things that can happen that can result in you getting a block kick. And guess what? It doesn't have to be called a punt block, and it can still happen. There's many of the punt blocks in this league happen off of missed assignments.
Yeah.
Not off of just all-out rushes.
You're not wrong.
And Bones also brought up the Steelers-Buffalo game.
Yeah, and it paid off for Pittsburgh.
It did, because everybody said you were up at the time. And he said, well, Pittsburgh was up at the time by 3 as well. So
he's not going to stop being aggressive.
No.
That's what you want.
He also wants to put it in the back of the opponent's mind of, we got this to worry about potentially on a punt or whatever, a field goal, whatever, whether he does it or not.
Why is it that fans, I'm not speaking to whoever the fans are that feel that way, want our offense to be aggressive, yes?
Yes.
They want us to be aggressive on offense. They want us to throw the ball down the field. They want Coop, CD, and all the boys to get off, correct?
Yep.
Okay. We also want our defense to be aggressive.
Sure.
Yes? We want to come after. We want to see Parsons coming off the edge. We want to see guys blitzing. We want to see guys getting hit, yes?
Yes.
But special teams, just be chill.
Well, I'm one of those fans. I'm gonna tell you this.
Okay.
I'm more conservative, and the reason why I feel that way is because your offense. You just mentioned.
That's what I was just thinking. I'm the same way.
Gallup, Dak, Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard, Blake Jarwin, Dalton Schultz. The list goes on and on of the weapons you have. Special teams. It's a Zert Kamara, C.J. Goodwin. Nothing wrong with these guys. Darian Thompson. The special teams personnel is not nearly as strong. I want the ball in my best players' hands.
But it never is.
And I want them to be aggressive.
But it never
I don't want to be conservative with my best players.
But
I hear what you're saying.
Just what Chris just said. When it works out, when you look at other teams where it works out, there are no complaints because what it does
Zero
is
complaints.
It flips field position. It changes momentum in the game, and that's what you want. And we've talked about culture so much, and all 3 facets of the game: offense, defense, and special teams.
Huge.
And so now you have that. And look, I just think that people are trying to draw the line between what's risky and what's just downright reckless.
And that is a blurred line.
So when you start talking about fake punts and things of that nature, or surprise onside kicks, those are decisions that I can understand people questioning, right? But nobody questions whether or not you go after. What about field goal blocks? Does anybody question those? No. Every single field goal block is called block.
Yeah.
You're coming after the kicker.
Yes. Yeah.
It's up to the person who is out there carrying out the assignment to not make a bozo decision like that. It's not the coach.
Got to come through.
It's not the coach. Now, when we start talking about those onside kicks and fake punts, I am all the way on board with y'all. That's just some of those things that don't need to be called. But we're talking about punt block, y'all. We're talking about punt block. You go after the punter. Your job is to do that. Otherwise, why do we need to keep guys on this team for special teams?
Well, you can just do safe return, right? I mean, and like Kyle said, just put it in their hands and let them try to get a score.
But you can
themselves.
just keep your second stringers on there. Why do you need to keep special guys? Why do you need core special teamers then? Why do you need a special teams coach?
Core special teamers
everybody knows how to go out there and run safe. Everybody. Head coaches know out there to put their guys out there. So why are we paying for a special teams coordinator?
Put us out there.
Yeah, seriously. You know what I'm saying? If you want to play it safe, you don't need a special teams coordinator. Kickers know how to kick at this level. Punters know how to punt. Snappers know how to snap. Guys know how to hold up. Why are we putting coordinators out there? Why are we keeping guys on this team just because of their contributions they have on special teams? Because they make a difference when you make these calls.
No, all of that makes sense. I mean, that was gold, what you're talking about from a special team standpoint. Again, I just think that the technical analysis of all of this goes back to the offense that you have. Get the punt and put your offense out on the field. Don't risk having your defense have to go back out there. And again, it didn't cost us. We won the game. Sure. Yay, Hakuna Matata. But we're just talking about there are situations where it has cost us, and we don't want it to.
And it could cost you in the future. That's kind of where I think the scariness is of it with Cowboys Nation in general. And I don't have a problem with going after the punt. That's not my problem. Okay. And honestly, if you're aggressive, you're aggressive. Yeah. I'm not going to over-fault you for being aggressive because that's the game of football. Okay. But if I had the decision, I would rather Dak Prescott have the ball toward the end of the half and a chance to drive down the field rather than, of course, what happened. Okay. Now, like you said, sometimes it works out in your favor. And then at that point, then you feel good and you're going on.
What about? Let me give people a different scenario, so people don't necessarily analyze the game the same way that I do sometimes. I'm really analytical that way. Every kickoff, easily based upon the kickers in this league, can be kicked out the end zone. Every single kicker can kick the ball off through the goalposts. So all the ones that are returnable, that's by choice.
It's on purpose.
It's on purpose. So because they want the opportunity to back these guys in anywhere between the 25 in the goal line. So are people okay? Are you okay with the ball not being kicked out the end zone just to have a chance of backing these guys up 5, 10, 15 yards?
Great point.
Because the payoff, because the other side of it is they can get a touchdown return.
Yeah.
But nobody talks about that.
Well, the difference.
I would rather kick it out of the back of the end zone.
I would too. I mean, but people, that is a strategy to try to pin them back and angle kick it. But the difference there, I guess, would be, the worst thing that happens, I guess, would be a touchdown. But they're still getting the ball at their own 5 or whatever, or, at the goal line.
That's if it works out your way.
If it works out your way.
If it doesn't work out your way, they're getting the ball at the 30, the 40, the 50. Or maybe it's a touchdown.
Field position.
You're giving it's field position. But so I'm saying it's risk. Special teams is all risk.
It is. But the flip side for this particular situation is they got the ball at the Dallas 39 with a hot quarterback,
but my point is that's not Fossil's fault. That's the player's fault. That's all I'm saying.
And he didn't think. I don't think he didn't think it was a penalty.
It's not Fossil's fault.
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
I don't think it's his fault at all. I think that was
talking about some of the other stuff.
A lot of the other stuff might have been. Yeah. This one, I think I agree with you in that regard. All right, let's step aside. When we come back, we're taking calls. 888-855-2297. Give us a call. Give us your thoughts on the Cowboys' 20-17 win over the Los Angeles Chargers. We'll answer them next on Talkin Cowboys.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
New Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. You deserve it.
I do deserve that.
You deserve decadent flavor without sugar. And a day at the beach without sand getting everywhere. And a relaxing bath that your children don't interrupt.
I deserve all that?
It's really just a visual metaphor for Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. Everything you want, nothing you don't.
A visual metaphor on the radio. I do deserve that.
Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. The zero you deserve is finally here.
Before there was a draft, you could size up a cowboy by 3 simple factors: the crease in his hat, the bend of his brim, and his unbending attitude. A man Stetson didn't just protect him from what life threw at him, it projected a rugged, unstoppable spirit. Stetson hats are still American-made with pride right here in Texas. They're still the unofficial crown of all self-respecting cowboys, and Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find a retailer nearest you at stetson.com/cowboys.
There's nothing as unique as our eyes, which is why Essilor pioneers ways to make lenses as unique as you. Verilux for super sharp vision, Essential Blue for protection, and Crizal for freedom from glare. 3 cutting-edge solutions in a single unique lens. So whatever your needs, insist on Essilor. Visit your local Essilor experts and find the perfect lens for you. See more, do more, Essilor.
to Talkin Cowboys.
It's a great people, great pay replay. You've heard Jason Witten has joined the Caliber Collision team. If you want to join him to do great work with great people for great pay, apply now at jobs@caliber.com. That's jobs@caliber, CALIBER.com. Welcome back in to Talkin Cowboys, presented by Tostitos.
Witt's team kind of had a collision this weekend, didn't
Ooh,
they?
yeah, they did.
Yes, they did.
It was a Caliber collision, all right.
It was a Caliber collision. 45-14 was the final score.
Jeez, he's learning.
Witten's team went down to Parish Episcopal.
Hey, it's a long season.
It is a long season.
He has to build it.
He's got a young team.
Yeah, if he builds
They're like
it, they
all
will come.
freshmen. All right, let's take some calls. Eli from Corpus Christi's on the line. You're talking with Talkin Cowboys.
Good morning, guys. How are y'all doing today?
Fantastic.
Oh, man, I'm glad y'all didn't take no calls the last 2 days because for like the last 2 days, well, actually, it's barely Tuesday. So yesterday, all I wanted to do was call in, talk about the fact that we cannot stop a receiver from catching the ball, about special teams. But, man, we won. Like, we won.
Right?
Like, oh, my gosh. Like, when it was a 56-yard field goal, like, I'm such an optimist, but my whole family was crossing their fingers, and I was just like, we're going to freaking miss this. How could we possibly put ourselves in a situation to kick a 56-yard field goal? What gave them, like, the trust in Zerline to kick a 56-yard field goal? Like, what? Like, what? But we won. Like, I don't know if I said that, but we freaking won. Like, I freaking love it. The one thing I want to talk about, the punt. Yeah, we were talking about it earlier. Go back and look at it. We tipped the ball. I don't know who it was, but we tipped the ball. If you go back and look at it, even in real time, you can barely see it, but they slow it down on TV, and you see that we tipped the ball. Isn't that, doesn't matter if we run into the kicker, we tip the ball, or am I wrong? And that's all I want to say. But please, if y'all can go review that, and or maybe I'm just seeing it because I'm a Cowboys fan, and I'm like I'm saying, like I mentioned earlier, we won the game. But that's all I want to say, guys. I freaking love y'all, each and every one of y'all. I like the way y'all mingle together. We won. That's it.
That is Eli, man. I'm with you. We won. That's it. Yes, sir.
Man, he portrays a lot of Cowboys Nation, I feel like, in that regard. It's like, you know what? There's some bad things in there.
Some good.
Who cares? We won. It's a dub. That's awesome. Isaiah, what did you think about what he said about the punt there?
Yeah, I didn't see it. I'm about to go back and watch it, Eli, so thanks for pointing that out. But, yes, by the book, if you tip the ball prior to touching the kicker, then it negates the roughing. But that only thing is that's not reviewable. So if it's not called on the field, then you're done. You're out of luck.
Yeah. I'm sure they've already asked the league office to take a look at that.
And that happens.
They think that's too late, and they won, so it doesn't matter.
I think they're going to ask the league office to review a lot of stuff, man. So
yeah, it was a rough game.
We didn't mention, and somebody mentioned to us on Twitter after the show yesterday, a lot of flags. A lot of flags, man. That was as much of a penalty-laden game.
I don't understand how there were so many flags, but yet the game went by so fast.
It felt like a college game. It felt like a college game in that regard, where there were flags every 10 seconds. I mean, there were 20 flags total combined between the two teams.
Is that right? I didn't see the final total.
Yeah, 20. Whoa. It was 8 for the Cowboys, 12 for the Chargers.
And I'm still butthurt about Amari Cooper not getting the PI.
I'm more butthurt about Jaron Kearse blanketing Jared Cook and getting that interception and getting called for
That's another
PI.
one. That
by far was the worst call of the night, in my opinion.
Amari Cooper should get that call.
Cooper should get that call, but
Isaiah,
Kearse, man, that was
y'all
bad.
know I love y'all and I got y'all's back, but you're not getting that call.
Which one?
The Cooper PI.
The Cooper, yeah,
it's not happening.
Why are you not getting that
call? Because
call?
Cooper was coming out of his break, and I know everybody's going to be mad at me because people want to be fans. I hear it. Understand this. If you go for it on fourth down, you better be ready to be physical.
Yeah.
Because you're not just going to have an opportunity to throw the ball out there and just hope that you get a PI. The referees understand the situation. They're going to let both guys be physical.
They're going to let them
now,
play.
One guy's physical and the other guy's not. That's different. But both of them, they were both handsy on that play. At the top of the route, Coop did get grabbed at the top of his route. Also at the top of the route, Coop wrapped his hand around his shoulder and pulled him back so that he can create separation. They're both handsy. It's going to be no call.
Because dude had vice grips on him.
I hear you.
I hear you. Now, pass interference.
I hear you. Now, all you got to do is, if Coop was just to be just take it, then guess what? He probably would have got the call. But Coop's like, he's not a punk. So he's like, get your hands off me. And by getting his hands off him, by grabbing him as well, it negates the fact that he can get the call. I'm just telling you how it goes.
I think the NBA gets it right a lot of times.
Don't do this. Don't do this.
I was just thinking.
You think Kobe would get that, or LeBron gets that call?
Stop it.
You know, against a rookie, you give him that call. This guy's competed at this level for a very long time. Look, top of his route, a rookie is like completely blank, sweatering him. Like he's got his hand around his throat. That's PI.
That part I don't like about the NBA actually. The star calls, but
you give him that call.
The NBA does makeup calls, and the NFL really does not do that. And
I think we might have got a
fan,
makeup
not Cowboys, but just as a general football fan, I kind of wish they did that.
What quarter was that in?
I don't know.
Might have made a makeup call. Yeah, Chris is saying it too. We might have had one makeup call at the back end of the game.
When was the PI or non-PI call?
I think it was the second quarter.
It was a PI. When you go back and review the tape, you'll see.
Both Curse and Coop were in the second quarter, I believe.
You got to give Coop that. That's disrespectful.
I hear you, but no, not going to happen.
All right, we've got G on the line. G, what's going on? You're on Talkin Cowboys.
Fellas, good morning.
What's up, G?
Coach McCarthy, Bones Fossil, as a lifelong Cowboys fans, all we want is for our coaches not to put us in a position to lose or not to put us in a position to fail. And I think that's our sentiment as fan base, that over the course of the last 2 years, we've seen our coaching staff put us in positions where we're in position to lose or things just don't make sense. But, fellas, I have two questions. Since the bye week, since week 10 bye week last year, our team has a plus of 21-7 in the turnover margin. We've gotten 21 turnovers to 7 on the opposing teams. We aren't turning those points. We weren't turning those turnovers into points. How do we fix that? And the second question is it's been 26 years, guys. Our offense looks like it's ready to roll, and it's an elite offense. But we know what our limitations are defensively. Do we need our front office to make a drastic move? And how will we like for them to be aggressive right now and possibly go pick up a free agent or call another team for a trade? That's my questions, guys. Thank you. Great show. Thanks, guys.
Gee, I hope your team win. That's all I got to say about that.
I love that. Rob, what did you think about that?
Should they make a drastic move? Or which?
Yeah, let's start with that one, and then I want to go back to the points off turnovers point.
My question would be where? I mean, where do you see they have to upgrade and maybe not play a young player that they like at this point in the season? I mean, if you get to midseason, like, okay.
It's already in his head. It's at number 25.
Okay, all right.
Go ahead.
Well, my answer to that is Kelvin Joseph's coming back next week. Potentially. He's eligible to come back next week from IR. I don't know if he'll be ready for sure, but, you know, that's your second-round draft pick. Like, that's 2018, they were a good team. They were a young team. They were getting better as the season went on, and they realized at midseason we have to do something about wide receiver, and they got Amari Cooper. I just, you know, take it to midseason, I would say, before you really know your roster, know what you have, and then say if we're in the hunt, which they should be, maybe we make a move then.
And just to give some credit to the fans, they see what's going on Sundays. They see the guys that are out there that are giving up the yards, and they're trying to figure out, well, wait a minute, if I can see this guy giving up these yards, you should be able to see it as well.
I get that.
And I understand the question, but at the same time, you know, look, they're vested in this guy. Anthony Brown, in his lineup last week, he gave up a touchdown. We did see some good things from Trayvon Diggs, even though, you know, he had a 100-yard receiver. I think this defense is just making strides. I don't want to be the negative guy every week about certain things that's happening in our secondary. I just feel as though they can obviously start to get better, and you see those things change as we get pressure on the quarterback. And that game started to change as we started to get pressure on the quarterback.
And if you look at the upcoming schedule for the Cowboys, I'm going to rattle off these games: Eagles, Panthers, Giants, Patriots, Vikings, Broncos, Falcons. So that's to the bye week and then a couple weeks after the bye week. Name me one of those games the Cowboys could not win with their current personnel. Cowboys certainly could win all of those games with their current personnel.
Yes.
Really, without arguing. Now, I'm not saying they will win all those games. That's almost impossible.
That would be dope.
That would be awesome. I would 100% love that. However, you on paper feel like you could win all those games right now with what you've got. So your next real benchmark is probably Kansas City. You've got a tough stint in November into December. Kansas City, then Las Vegas, almost said Oakland, then the Raiders, then you've got the New Orleans Saints. That's 3 straight games that you'll really know what your team looks like and how you can make a run going into the playoffs. I don't know if you make a move before then. Maybe you make one after that or right around that time. I don't know if you make one any time previously, though.
Well, think about what this defense has done with these 2 great quarterbacks that they've played against. And I think, hey, they had an opportunity to beat Tom Brady in Tampa, right? They did what was necessary against the Chargers to get a win. I would like to see how they measure up. Obviously we understand that we're getting some guys back healthy and really want to see Boss Man Fat compete.
Yeah.
And that's literally back to what Isaiah has been talking about bringing in Dan Quinn is the culture and everyone compete. I think all of these guys are sitting on the edge of their seats because they know that they could be replaced by the guy that comes up that plays better. We're seeing that unfold through injury with Jaron Kearse. So look, I just think that this defense, as they go, as Dan Quinn just kind of gets a feel for what his personnel is, that this thing could, look, we want middle of the road, just not last place.
You're starting to see that confidence in Swagger come back defensively, and you don't want to derail that any sense of the imagination. Okay.
Isaiah hadn't said a word in 5 minutes.
Yeah, he hasn't. He's watching film.
I'm going back to that play so we can talk about this.
It's pass interference.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it.
Well, let me save it to the last second.
No. Okay, go ahead.
I want to get one more call. G, by the way, great conversation. Bob is on the line. Bob, what's going on, man?
Hey, good morning, fellas. Great show.
Appreciate it,
Thank
Bob.
you.
Thank you.
Hey, real quick, and I'm kind of old school, but I really think the Cowboys show just how dominant and how they can control a game when they run the ball. I think this past week with the balance was really outstanding. One thing I often wondered, and I think Mike McCarthy's done it a lot over his years of coaching, is what about putting a fullback in the backfield and picking up that initial blocker to help our running backs not have to try to evade that first blocker. That's what Moose did for Emmett for so many years, and I think a fullback might really help us with our run game, especially in those critical moments when we need to run the ball. Just wanted to ask you guys' opinion on that. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it, Bob.
Fantastic question. I don't disagree with him. I wish Shewo Alanalua was healthy because I feel like he would fill that role.
Yes, he would.
And there wouldn't be really a question about it. I think Alanalua, the way that he was looking in training camp, he could have been a weapon as a receiver. He could have been a weapon as a tailback. But my goodness, he would have filled that initial blocker role. And I think we would have seen a lot of that, Rob.
Yeah, I think that was the plan. I honestly think it was the plan. Mike McCarthy, go back to Green Bay, and he utilized the fullback position. John Kuhn, I think, was one guy. And they've done it in the past with Jason Garrett here. Zeke, I think, has been used more to one-back sets going back to college. But that doesn't mean it's something they can't use. I think there is value in it. It's just throughout the league, you're just seeing less and less of it. The Mooses of the world, it's just less of a factor as we go to more spread offenses now.
Yeah, I agree. I like fullbacks. I love fullbacks. I think the only thing with this particular team, the way we're built, is it takes the personnel grouping off the field, the versatility. Now, to your point, I can't pronounce it. Shewo. I liked him a lot, and I think that he did give us the opportunity to still be a threat in that personnel grouping, and obviously multi-faceted. So I think losing him really changed our approach in terms of short yardage.
Yeah, I love what San Francisco does with number 44. I can't say his last name, but he's a fullback, and he's a guy that gets out in the flat a lot. They catch him out there, and he does a lot of lead blocking for them. But I also think that Kellen Moore does a really good job of incorporating tight ends in that situation.
Kyle Juszczyk.
But it's a lot of vowels in there, right?
Yeah, there is.
Okay, but I'm just saying Juszczyk, they just do a really good job with him, in the run. So and that's why I love and I'm going to get in trouble with Roxanne because she's an Ohio State grad, but that's what I love about Michigan and the way that they play. They incorporate a lot of fullback as well. I mean, it's a lost art in football, but I think it still has value.
True.
Isaiah's looking at the play.
He is on this.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, I want to know your thoughts on if you still feel the same or if we're about to have another fight here on the end of the table on the rest of Talkin' Cowboys, presented by Tostitos.
Hi, I'm Clint Tillison with United Ag and Turf. Before you can park yourself in front of the game, park yourself in a John Deere and power through your chores. Our Land Run package is a 1025R, 25 horsepower tractor with a loader, rotary cutter, and a box blade for $229 a month. And the price you see is the price you'll pay. No surprises. So don't miss another kickoff.
Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com. Offer ends February 1st, 2021. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Now let's get to work.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way.
Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now, you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Wow, here we go on a Tuesday following a win. Whether you're watching from home or cheering in the stands, with Essilor lenses, you can see every exciting play.
Get it, Isaiah.
Book an appointment at your local Essilor experts and see what Essilor can do for you. See more, do more. Essilor on Talkin' Cowboys, presented by Tostitos. Ooh, I like the wipe there, Chris. That was fantastic.
Got us all glasses.
The nice cheesy
that read
wipe. I love it. I want Rob to do the read as soon as he gets his lenses in. I want him to do it one time.
See how crystal clear this is?
I can't wait.
And these people, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, that listen to Talkin' Cowboys, they are bothering Rob every single day to go and get his eyes checked.
And their service is second to none.
It was awesome.
Second to
come
none.
on.
I don't even wear glasses. They told me my eyes were too amazing.
Thank you for reminding us.
I just wanted to tell everybody. They said I was Cyclops out here, but
jeez Louise.
So
it never stops.
I don't like that term too much, Isaiah. I'm not a fan of that term.
What's
All
that?
right, Cyclops. So I have something new to show you guys.
Wow.
I want to show you guys something.
To his knees.
I brought a surprise for you guys today because
nobody even knew.
Yeah, nobody knew.
You never knew.
Last year we tried to start a tradition here on Talkin' Cowboys. We tried to start the smelly stickers.
Yes.
It didn't really go well. And I feel like we just didn't do it the right way. We were virtual. We weren't in studio. I feel like we didn't do it the right way. And basically, it's the scratch and sniff. It was a joke that we made one time, and then it turned into our form of helmet stickers. So every time a player makes a play or does something well on a game day, we will give them a helmet sticker. Well, now,
oh wow, where'd you pull that from?
Where'd I'll put the camera on it. I've got ourselves a helmet. It's a Cowboys helmet. It's a replica from Riddell. It's pretty fantastic. And I've also got us some smelly stickers to go with it. Some scratch and sniff smelly
Look at
stickers.
you.
We gave
This
out
guy's too
4
much.
yesterday, and we're going to put them on here like helmet stickers. So make sure and keep that in mind, and we'll do that starting next week. I'll have the 4 on there from this week, but then we'll actually put them on
Are we
physically
going to write
next
the names of who got them?
Yes, I'm going to put the numbers of who got them on there.
This is like the Buckeyes.
We
man.
can't put your smelly sticker. It's going to be a helmet cover.
Oh, goodness.
A special teams helmet cover. The big draws.
The big one. The Terrence Steele. They have the white cover. But yeah, so we're going to do some scratch and sniffs coming up here later on. But Isaiah, I wanted you guys to kind of get this out of the way, talking about the pass interference call. What did you see after reviewing the film?
Yeah, I went frame by frame, actually. And I'm not sure if CB can actually zoom in on this. From this particular angle, can we see this here? No, not so much? Okay,
there
boom.
it is.
All right, so from this angle right here, this still shot right here.
That's PI.
Ooh.
Any other down, I would say yes. But understand this, from the DB's perspective, the DB is entitled to that same space. Right there. That DB is entitled to that same space. Now, had that DB's momentum been going backwards, like towards the opposite goal line, and he reached back and grabbed, PI all day long. But the fact that that DB put his feet in the ground, was Asante Samuel Jr., right?
Jr., yep.
He put his feet in his ground, and he broke exactly when Coop broke. He's entitled to that space. Now, he is grabbing him. Bodies run into each other when one force stops, runs into another force. Now, as I go to the next freeze frame, give me 1 second here.
And if you're not watching Talking Cowboys, by the way, you can go check out the actual footage on DallasCowboys.com.
Yeah, but as you go to the next frame, I'm going to get it here in 3, 2, 1. Now
being held.
Now, okay, boom.
Heck is not convinced.
Now you guys can see that Coop is now, where's his arm at?
He's extending his arm because the guy is holding him. Please.
I don't disagree.
Okay.
I don't disagree. But guess what? As soon as Coop decided to extend his arm and push off, now guess what? They both have been physical.
You just
you
doctored,
understand what I'm saying?
You just doctored that whole video.
I didn't
and
doctor
gave me the freeze
I
frame.
went freeze by frame.
What's that stuff that they do where you're trying to get your fat to look? You're trying to look slim. How do you do that?
I don't even know what that is.
Airbrush. What do you do?
I'm with you that it's hands
airbrushing.
fighting on both sides, but I think the issue I have and fans have is if they're going to call that on Curse, and then they need to call it on Asante Samuel.
Okay. That's a totally different. That's a totally different case. But in terms of this, on 4th down, and you got 2 grown men going at it, fighting for the same position, there's going to be contact. You can't expect no contact. And when there's contact on both parts, one person grabs them because that's what DBs do. The other receiver pushes them because that's what receivers do. You can't call it one way. Not on 4th down.
Wide receiver extraordinaire. Isaiah Stanback.
Wow.
Arguing the point for the
LeBron call.
I'm not sticking up for anybody. I'm just saying you're not going to get that call. I'm not saying that it's not a foul. I'm just saying that you're not going to get that call in that situation.
The specific scenario that led to it. I agree. And I also think it's kind of ironic in a game that was very much so dictated and will definitely be remembered for how many flags were thrown. We're arguing on one that was not thrown, which is kind of ironic from the Talking Cowboys standpoint. But that's going to do it for us today. Hope you had some fun over the last 45 minutes or so. We've got Chris Beam in the back doing great work as always. How about Aaron Gonzalez?
AG.
The cow bite yesterday. It was fantastic. The big draws.
Shout out, AG.
From Terrence Steele. We've got Heckma Harrison, Isaiah Stanback, Rob Phillips. I'm Kyle Yeomans. We'll see you tomorrow on Talking Cowboys, presented by Tostitos.
Better believe it.
Bring your hump day draw.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!